Welcome back to the Alpha Gaming channel. I am your stream doctor, Harris Heller, and today, let's talk about that voice of yours. There's a reason USB mics are so popular nowadays. Most people know the basics of audio, but the actual technicalities of how to make yourself sound good are just foreign to everybody. And that's totally fair. It takes a long time to really understand how the fine tunings of EQ work and what they actually do. And you shouldn't have to spend that time learning it just to make yourself sound good. But fortunately for you, and despite what this guy says, I went to school for audio engineering. Didn't finish, hashtag dropout. So you don't have to learn everything. Today I'm gonna teach you the 4 things that you need to know to make your voice sound like you have a face made for radio. So for this one, we're gonna jump over to our streaming rig.
Welcome to my stream. This is what my stream looks and sounds like while I'm live on Twitch every night, which, by the way, you should be there. Anyway, let's get this naked guy off the screen and start talking about audio. If you watched the last video I made, I mentioned that I use a $2,000 mic. Don't get one of those. There's no reason to have a $2,000 mic if you're a brand new streamer. There's no reason to have a $2,000 mic if you're an experienced streamer. I make music videos for a living, so I have one. And I use it because it sounds nice. But you can get great audio quality out of this $30 mic. And so that's what we're gonna use for this video. How's that? Do you hear a difference? You might. Do you hear a $2,000 difference? Probably not. As long as you get a semi-decent condenser mic like this one and a mixer that has some of the tools that I'm gonna show you tonight, which link will be in the description below, you can have great sounding audio on your stream. So get a cheap mic and let's get started. Also, actually, before we get started, I know like this mic is symmetrical. Make sure you're talking into the front of the mic. This is the front, this is the back. Do you hear a difference here? Because you should. The front is the side with that logo on it right there. Make sure you're talking into the front. All right, on to step 1. The very first and probably most important thing you're gonna do is level yourself. Basically what that means is making sure the volume is right. A lot of people make the mistake of having one or more of their level dials turned a little too high. Audio signals work very similarly to digital cables or internet cables, where you have a specific bandwidth that can fit through the cable. If you turn the audio up too loud, the tops and bottoms of the sound waves are gonna get clipped off. It's called clipping or peaking, and it sounds like this. Notice the volume of this video isn't any louder, but the audio is clipping and it sounds like garbage. You hear that a lot when people are using onboard microphones for their stream.
Where's Brad? All right, Brad's on carbide. Travis, back up if you can. They're really looking at you, Travis.
You can get pretty complicated when you're leveling, but really all you need to do is stream to a fake Twitch account so you can say something and watch back and listen. Speak quietly, speak loudly. Make sure they can hear you when you're quiet. Make sure you're not clipping when you're loud. Err on the side of being quiet, and then turn it up later in OBS. Don't ever peak. Speaking of quiet moments and loud moments, step 2 is compression. This mixer that I've linked in the description below has a compression knob on it. And essentially what that does is it takes your quietest part and your loudest part and it compresses them closer together. So when you're speaking quietly, it boosts the volume up. When you're speaking loudly, it brings the volume down. That way, when you're quiet on stream, your viewers aren't turning up your audio. And when you're loud, you don't blow out their eardrums. Compression is super important. And all you have to do on this mixer is turn up the compression knob. Step 3 is probably my favorite one. This is what gives my audio its edge. Lower frequencies are those low rumbles you hear like during a drop zone in PUBG. High frequencies are what you hear when someone is ASMRing right in your ear. And it's just crisp and clear. What you want to do with this mixer is take your low end and your high end and crank them up about 6 decibels each. That way you get that real radio presence with the lows as well as the real crisp high-end sounds of the highs. Literally, that's my biggest secret. And if any of this is a little confusing to you, I'm gonna take a picture of my mixer and link to that down below also. If you get this mixer and this mic, turn the knobs to exactly what I have it set at, and you'll sound great. Step 4 is the extra mile. When you're streaming, you have a lot of noise going on around you. I've got a space heater behind me that's not turned on right now. I have 2 PCs running with big old thick fans. I've got a keyboard about 6 inches away from my microphone. You need to eliminate that noise as much as possible. And the way to do that is going into OBS's filters and turning on a noise gate. Essentially what you're doing is you are setting a volume level where if it's quieter than that level, it shuts off all the noise. The way to fine tune this is to try to find that decibel level that's between your quietest speaking points and the loudest noise points. So speak quietly into your mic, make sure the audio is still picking it up. And then hit your keys kind of hard, maybe the way you would during a really intense fight, and make sure that the noise gate is cutting it off. If it's picking up your keys, lift up the gate a little bit more. If it's cutting off your voice, bring it back down so it's letting more sound through. Find that sweet spot and you're good. If you really, really want to be awesome and you want a step 5, there's something that I do that's a little bit over the top. I collab with people on Twitch, and it's really important that the people watching the other person's stream get a little bit of a hint of the quality of my stream. I've seen streamers like J9 stream with not only a mic in front of them, but also a mic still connected to their headset. Because their streaming PC is hearing this mic, so that's what the stream is picking up, but their gaming PC is hearing this mic. And so that's what their teammates are hearing, and if their teammates were streaming, the audio is going to sound like garbage on that end. This mixer has something special called an effects send, which basically is meant to take audio from your mixer and send it to like a reverb or some kind of sound effect. But what I do is I send a cable from that effects send into my mix amp. So I can direct the audio directly from my mic and mixer back into my gaming PC where my teammates hear me. It's a really cool trick that makes you sound good on other people's streams, which is just as important as sounding good on your stream if you're trying to grow. But if you can do those 4/5 things, your audio is going to sound great. If you have any questions about what I just said, you can drop into our Discord. We have a Stream Doctor text channel that you can ask questions in. I or any of my followers are happy to answer them. Or you're also welcome to jump into my Twitch channel where you can ask me questions live. And if they're simple enough that I can actually answer them on stream, I'm more than happy to do it. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, happy streaming.